yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Tony Tracy. I live in Cheyenne, Oklahoma. I'm a fifth generation farmer here and raised alfalfa, I guess, my whole life. Started baling hay in '74, I guess. So I've been doing it almost 50 years. But anyway, just Dad and I left college and came back to the farm, and Dad and I went into partnership, and he retired back in '05, and so it's just been me here the last few years. But my oldest daughter and her husband's moved back, and Clay and Whitley Lent, and they're helping me, and we're in partnership, so it's just a good deal. So came across the Nature's Formula here just a few years ago, and by just word of mouth, and tried it on my alfalfa. I think after second or third cutting at that time, and saw results from killing grasshoppers. Was dry and didn't know about the fertilizer side of it, but this year, of course, was dry again. But I put it on just as soon as the alfalfa broke dormancy, and applied it through my pivot. And as the weevils, we always have weevil problems, and chemical companies had to quit making different chemicals because of regulations, and having a hard time finding something that would work. Decided to use this put on through my pivot for first cutting, and the nice thing about it is weevils usually don't come on all at once. They just kind of, if you raise alfalfa, you know, they just kind of come on through for like a month, and sometimes you have to spray twice. And the thing about this product is you get it on, you can put it on when you want through your pivot or have it sprayed on, but it's there, and as the weevils hatch, then they're dying as they're hatching, as they ingest the plant and get the plus B ingested, microbes ingested in them, and it was the best I had seen the product work. It was funny. We found one little spot that was just infested with weevils, but why it was like that, I don't know. The rest of the field didn't have anything. I mean, it wasn't as big a spot as a pickup bed, but 2 or 3 days later, there wasn't any sign of them at all. And so why that is, I don't know. But we didn't use any other chemical this year, so the alfalfa basically did not ever have a bad day growing, and that's perfect. So we put on another dose of Nature's Formula and Plus B after second cutting for the third cutting, and I actually did it again after third cutting, because I wanted a full dose, because we always struggle with armyworms, cutworms, or webworms in the fourth cutting. A lot of times you have to cut it early because they're just decimating it. They're just eating it faster than it's growing. And this year I wanted the full dose on there, so I put another dose through my pivot. Of course, got the fertilizer with it as well. And we had a dry year, but did have some rain in the end of May, 1st of June. So that second cutting was real good, and third, but then when fourth cutting came around, that's when the 110-degree weather and some wind and was stressing the plant some. But anyway, the yields have been, it's a 7-year-old stand, so really pleased with how the fertilizer side has worked, but also the Plus B. I saw a few worms, but nothing like I've had in the past, and just really pleased with the product, and look forward to doing using it in the future. I guess last year I used it before first cutting, and for whatever reason we didn't get the results. and the company stood behind their product, and they brought me a brand new tote. They really didn't know what had happened, but it doesn't matter to me because they brought me a new tote, and we used it this spring and had great results. So I just appreciate a company that'll stand behind their product and they've worried more about the farmer than maybe even profits. Their prices haven't gone up through all this craziness, and so I just appreciate them and the people I have working for them. So.
Tell us also then about what you seen in the header as you're cutting. I know you sent me a picture and was just amazed.
Yeah, it's either after first or second cutting, I probably cut 50 acres that day, and get out and cleaning the swather off kind of before I put it up in the shed, and there was not an insect. I could not find an insect in my header, and that's the first time in 50 years. So, so it works.
And then I know early on you said your neighbor, most of your neighbors had to spray at least once for weevils and aphids. Did they have to spray here this fourth cutting or anything? Do you know? Or
no, I hadn't had any chemicals.
No, did any your neighbors have to? Everyone else,
yes.
That you know of?
Yeah, they had to once, I think, back in March or April.
Mm-hmm.
And another nice thing about it, you put it on through the pivot. You don't have any wheel tracks out there, but sometimes the weevils don't hatch till the hay's 6 or 8 inches tall, and you're having to run a ground rig out there and lay hay over to spray it. So it's great. You just put it on through the pivot. So.
And last question: if you could sum up or describe the Plus B in one sentence, what would that be?
Man, it's a godsend. Just not having to use the harsh chemicals, and of course a lot of them they've outlawed and quit making, but just having it out there from day one. Once you see, or even you can get it on even before you see the weevils, and it's in the plant and it's ready to go to work as soon as the pests get there, and it's just easy to apply, and it doesn't smell, it's not corrosive, so it's just an easy product to use. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the testimony, and we look forward to working with you here in the future and continue to have success controlling insects on your alfalfa.
Thank you.